Okay, I'm Zinhle Msimango. I'm an auxiliary social worker at Funda Nenja. I've joined in September 2020. Yeah. As I was sitting there, listening to to everyone who was speaking here, and I've remembered when Jim Taylor said Funda Nenja was started on a research. So that is how it all started. So even the social services, that is when we Funda Nenja saw that there is a need of social services within the organization. So we even believed on the observations of instructors in the field, and then we believed in the observations of the animal welfare when going out to the community. That was needed to our community. So there were animals that were suffering. So we believe that animals won't suffer if people are not suffering. So that is how it was linked to everything. So, and then we said lives of humans are important and the lives of animals are important. That interconnects. So with all the research that is shown, it is simple that petting dogs will always lower the stress of a person. So that is how all it started. So we believe that social services were needed, and as the children's rights, again, because children were the first people that we see in the organization. So as their rights are important and the animals' rights are so important, then we say pets, especially animals, can reduce the stress, and they can. They have emotions like us as human. This is some of our services that we provide, which are home visits, counseling, support groups, referrals, holiday clubs, life skills lessons, food, clothing assistance, and school lessons. During our home visits, which are done every once a week, I do mine on a Wednesday after the animal welfare lady is being. So she has done most of the work in the database. Then I I get to collect some information from her, and because when she go and observe, she will say, I think this case is more urgent for you to go to that family. So I will go with, sometimes I will go with what she has observed in the families. And it's takes some few times for families to trust us. Sometimes you come there and say, I'm a social worker. Who said we need a social worker here? Because some, they don't want to open up with the situation that is happening at home. So we try to make more visits for those families. Then we end up building trust, and yeah, because they've seen that we have the confidentiality on their situation. So we even use the home assessment forms where makes it like we are able to see the challenges that the families are going through, because when we're asking some questions, they end up talking more and more of what is happening in their lives. So we are able to do the follow-up and everything. And then we ask them to sign the consent form, so that with all the programs that we have there, they said, okay, you can continue work on our situation. So that even when it comes that we need to involve SAPS now, you did sign in that we need to, we can work with you in this program, because sometimes it needs more deeper intervention. So they won't say, no, we didn't say you must do that for us. They did sign the form, and if it needs to be attended to, we are able to attend on those issues. So we open files for all the clients and the families that are there. And then we provide counseling for our people and assist them to, sometimes we do them in schools. We do get referrals from schools, because we sometimes do talks in schools. Then they refer children to our office. So that has been And having us in working in the school, that has been a privilege for most of our schools, because they don't have psychologists, they don't have social workers and everything. So they know that Funda Nenja is there with a social worker, and then we can always refer as needed. For the support groups, people need to be learning, as Dr. Jim said. So we have support groups where we do parenting workshops, and this is encouraging the positive parenting practices within the children and the parents, and then it closes those gaps, because in our culture, I would say that it's difficult to speak to a parent or an elder person for there are some sticky topics that you won't just speak to a parent, but making them to close those gaps, it helps a lot, so that the children can talk about everything that they're going through. And this builds on the love, the care, and the responsibility between the parent and the children. So it benefits the co-parenting even within those people who attend that workshop. So they'll be able to say, yeah, I have a problem with a child on this, what can I do? Then that is where we do the referrals and everything. And it builds the self-esteem of the parents and the children too. So we provide so many skills, because if we don't have those skills, we are able to see what is within the community, what are the people providing what in the community. So we bring in those people. So, and again, it's these skills, it enhances the development of a person, personal and development of skills, and it provides opportunities for people, because they are there, and then they will learn from us, and then everything is on the picture for them, and we provide awareness of what is happening around the people. And then we do workshops with our instructors, because they are human too, and then they learn those skills within the organization. And what I loved is recently I've seen some of our instructors observing children from the field, and then they come back to tell us that they've observed this and this, and then sometimes they even give on what they have to give to the children, which we say a beautiful skill that they have learned. So we've been doing some referrals for children and even for adults to social development, SASA, SANCA, Department of Health, and then to the local feeding schemes, because again, poverty is there. People are hungry, and then we cannot always provide. I know that somewhere we say we give food assistance and all, but we cannot always, because it's depending on the donation that we have. So we are able to refer in the local people. So, and the other thing that we do, it's holiday clubs, which gives more opportunity for new activities. We always do new things with children, and we open up a space for them to play and to speak of their emotions and all. And then we have activities where we have quiet time, and they have to think of themselves, calm themselves from the situation that they've been going through at their home. And we encourage teamwork. So they work together, and then they end up being friends all along with everyone. So our holiday clubs, they provide a supportive environment to them. So they play together and do everything together. And it builds social skills where they end up being friends for longer, just because they were on this Funda Nenja team, and then it's all going on and on. Ability to mix with different people, which is a valuable skill to pick up when you are young. That is what we provide during those workshops. And these children, they end up seeing and finding their new hobbies, because yeah, they've been doing one and the same thing, and then now they come and then they do all different things. So and then they choose to, this is what I like, I will do this most. And then you find that the team is there, but they are all choosing different things that they do in the field. And we do more of outdoor activities, especially when the weather allows. So we do more of our outdoor activities for the mental abilities and all. And then they do exercises, which is, yeah, which is one of their entertainment. And it's just not that it's always theory. So they have other activities that they do. So we provide different life skills. So this is to change the attitude, because that's what we want to change. It's the attitude towards dogs, towards other people, towards other animals that are in the community. So these are the skills, and then they get involved in the growth, and then there's moral regeneration. I remember doing a home visit. I know that sometimes you go to families and they have their own beliefs. So one family, they don't, so they, they don't like dogs. It's their belief, they don't keep pets. So because the child wanted to go out to Funda Nenja, he had to, he borrowed a dog from somewhere, and he didn't tell the parents that he was going to Funda Nenja. But now our criteria is that we need to go to the family and do all our assessment and all. So when we went there, the mother said, we're not allowed to have dogs in this home. What should we do? I said, if you let the child to do what he wants to do, then you can sign for him to do that. It's fine, but that will depend on you as. The mother said, there's nothing I can do, because he always sneak out and get the dog. So yeah, sometimes we get people like that who say, okay, the child can do it, even if my beliefs don't go with that. So the child can have that dog. So that is one of the things that we do. And then food and donations, and assisting identified families with food and clothing when necessary. We find it's so many families need this assistance. So many people need this assistance, but sometimes you have to check which one is in a more need. It's very difficult, but we are so thankful with the donations that have been coming in at the moment, because that have been doing some change for us, especially going to those families. And yeah, families, I've been trying to call in some companies to donate vegetables and seedlings, so for the families to plant their own veggies, which was the last time that I did was grateful. And then when I was doing a follow-up at one home, they just gave me a bunch of spinach, which was so beautiful. Yeah, so we do that too, as to help. Okay, and again, we do school visits where we do, sometimes these school visits, it's the schools that request our visit to the schools, and sometimes we write letters to the schools to go there. And then we do personal values, and sometimes we remind school with their school values and Funda Nenja values. And we believe that when they learn of those values, they will respect everyone and respect everything that they come across. And then we were having so much problems in the school of the teenage pregnancy, so they've been calling us in for those lessons and children's rights, so for them to understand that you have a right here, but what is your responsibility as a child on these on these rights or values. And we've done lessons on gender-based violence, and we did the community talks where we were invited with collaborating with other organizations within the community, including CPFs, SAPS, and other social workers in the community. So we've been trying to spread our wings as much as we can to reach as many people as we can. Because sometimes if we'll say we'll look at the Funda Nenja people, children, what about the ones that can influence out there? So we try and connect with all the people that are in the community. And then with the children, we try to do things like tree of protection for them to know that this is where to go when I'm feeling abused, when I'm having these 1 and 2 problems, so the children will know where to go within the community. And one of the other things that we've been facing a lot is a substance abuse in the community, and which leads to neglect of children and so many other social ills. So we've been trying to make talks on the schools and just for prevention, for these children not to even start. So we've included Senka, who is in Maritzburg and who have come to our community to help the children in the community, because even underage children have been involved. You'll find in the primary schools that they've already using substances. So these are our children still. So we're trying to make it possible to stop it from the beginning. So this is providing vital services to the community free of charge. We will try to work in collaboration with all different organizations that are there and providing the safe space for our children. That is our aim to who are those children who require the adults' assistance in the community. Thank you.
Just a quick question. Are there holiday workshops done in the community school that we were at yesterday?
Yes, yeah, we do them there. It's twice a week during the holiday period.
In situations where you have a family who there's just a breakdown of trust and they don't want to have you on their property anymore, is there anything you can do to regain that kind of rapport, or do you just kind of have to abandon that situation? I'm just interested in like the mechanisms to build trust, basically.
Yes. Depending on the situation and the risk of that situation, if we still need to intervene, we call on other people. As I was saying, that we do referrals, we call, we already have address and all social development, can you please come and assess the situation there? And then if maybe it needs to be a child removal, there will be that. And yeah, we are many of the houses in Popomen are RDP houses, and there are 2-room houses where you find 14 people in one, in that 2-room house. So you can imagine the situation. If there's a sick person there, the child sees all that, and then if somebody dies here, the child sees that, you know, there is so much that is happening. So if that really needs to be attended, we need to go to the above.
Do you get support from Department of Social Development with that?
No, not really, no.
Thanks, Zinhle. You know, just listening to you and Nomonde, and I suppose the whole team, you must see a lot, and I'm imagining it's quite tough for you as well. So I'm interested, you obviously provide this psychosocial and psychological support to people in the community, and I'm interested in what kind of support you provide each other, and what kind of support, because it's tough,
Yeah.
and it's emotionally draining, and how you keep yourselves motivated.
Thanks, thank you. That's that's what we were talking about last time we had a meeting with the whole staff. But yeah, we do have people that we debrief with. So we have some debriefing sessions that we have regularly, and then we do organize people when we need to.
Sorry, I've got many questions. But this is maybe one for Funda Nenja as a whole organization. What kind of impact has the organization experienced since taking on a social worker full time? And has this only been since 2020? And maybe what kind of difference has that kind of made?
So I'm not quite sure of the exact date, but probably about 5 years into our existence, we did employ a part-time auxiliary social worker. Okay, but it's only since we've had, in the latter years, that we are really seeing a difference as we're doing far more outreach. In the early days, we had the part-time auxiliary social work, but we weren't doing home visits at that time. I really believe that our home visit program is what has been a cornerstone of our success, of being out there in the community. And I think, as everybody who's come up and done presentations is emphasizing, is that the human welfare and the animal welfare are interlinked. We've been so successful because we take this one welfare approach. You know, as Zinhle has been sharing, you know, some of the children come from really abject poverty, neglected backgrounds. How can you expect a child from that background to look after their dog? We can't judge the child when their needs are not being met. And as, you know, I know people starting off will say, well, we can't afford a social worker. But, you know, you can do small little things to get yourself on that journey towards caring for the humans in addition to caring for the adults. So to answer your question more fully, Shannon, we've got no real data, but our observations are that it has made a difference. For those of you who were out at the dog school yesterday, you will have seen the good condition of the dogs, how the people handle their dogs. And I do believe that is because of the ripple effect of the program. And I think one of the, probably the most important effects is that the community has come to trust us because we care about people and we care about the animals. And so they trust us more and they're willing to work with us.